Dead Space 3, developed by Visceral Games and published by Electronic Arts, is a survival horror third-person shooter that serves as the third installment in the Dead Space series. Released in 2013, the game continues the story of Isaac Clarke, the series' protagonist, as he faces new horrors in the depths of space. In this video, we will be going over a plethora of glitches the game has to offer, including ways to skip huge portions of the game. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's start with one of the earliest and simplest glitches in the game, wall boosting. To pull off a wall boost, find a wall that allows you to run up it as you run into it. There are plenty of locations where you can perform wall boosts, for instance in Chapter 8, just before entering the way station to repair your suit. One thing to note is that in order to perform wall boosts, you will need high FPS. Anything over 60 FPS should work without issue, although the higher the FPS, the faster you wall boost in some cases. Crouch deloading is a purely visual glitch as far as we know, and it allows you to unload the textures from any given area. To perform this glitch, all you need to do is spam crouch past a loading trigger. This confuses the game and results in textures not loading in that area. One tip to pull off this trick is to bind crouch to your mouse wheel. Clipping out of bounds is extremely easy in zero gravity. To execute a clip, simply face the wall while holding forward, then pull down your camera, and once Isaac reaches the floor, press the 0G align key. If done correctly, your feet should clip through the floor and you will be able to fly out of bounds. We can also perform what is called a wiggle clip, in which you just pull the camera up and down repeatedly until you clip through. You can clip in certain locations at 60 FPS, but it's not advised as it's extremely difficult to do so. For 0G clips, it's recommended to perform them at high FPS. Crouch clipping is a trick that is usually performed while you are already out of the playable boundaries in order to get further out of bounds. It's a very simple trick to perform. Find a location where you can crouch into a tight gap with something above your head and then stand up. If done correctly, you will either clip through whatever is above you, or you will clip through whatever is below you. In the beginning of Chapter 3, you can actually get inside of the ship by flying through a wall that doesn't have any collision. Simply fly over to this location here and then fly through the wall. That's it. You can also hit a checkpoint from here, which puts you inside the ship and skips entering the normal way. Playing this game in co-op is the way the game was intended to be played, but it is also the fastest for the speedrun, and this glitch is the reason why. Co-op clipping is by far the most broken glitch in the entire game, allowing you to bypass virtually any wall you want with ease, and it's super simple to do. To perform a co-op clip, simply have a friend run into you at an angle against a wall and crouch as soon as they hit you, all while you crouch walk into them at a sideways angle and then press sprint. Once you hit them, if done correctly, you should clip through the wall. Keep in mind that this glitch requires the highest amount of FPS in the game, and anything over 400 FPS should work relatively easily and should be reachable on most modern PCs nowadays. This glitch also requires a good ping with your co-op partner, so don't try it with someone from Australia if you live in the UK. While out of bounds, we can place a timed mine to launch ourselves further into the void, allowing us to hit checkpoints we wouldn't be able to reach otherwise. If we go into the game settings and turn on VSync, that will cap the FPS to 30, which allows us to launch ourselves slightly further. I will be showing some skips that use this technique later on in the video, so stick around. If you manage to get out of bounds while in zero gravity, then you might notice that there is an invisible boundary around the area that you can't cross, and if you do, Isaac will either fall or spaz out. Using this boundary, we can actually do a pretty unique glitch called 0G launching. To pull off this trick, simply hold down aim and spam the kinesis button as you hit the boundary. If done correctly, you will fly really far off the map. We can use it here near the end of Chapter 4 to hit a checkpoint that's too far away for us to hit normally, which saves around 4 minutes on a speedrun. If we find an object that we can pick up using kinesis but also has collision priority over us, meaning we can't push it while walking into it, then we can use that object to clip through walls. To perform this trick, we need to start in a crouched state. Then proceed to pick up the object using kinesis and move yourself into a corner. From there, we need to let go of aim to drop the box on top of our head. Once that's done, you want to hold forward to walk into the wall while also holding the kinesis button. Then quickly press crouch followed by aim. If done correctly, you should be able to just walk through the wall. This glitch is one of the hardest to pull off in the game and is very situational. It also requires a high amount of FPS similar to the co-op clipping. Around 375 FPS seems to work, but anything higher will make the glitch easier. Elevator clips are performed based on specific elevators and whether or not the button to activate it is close enough to the gates. Simply run sideways towards the gate and press the button at the last moment. If done right, you should be able to pass the gate before it closes, allowing you to clip through. These clips are easier to perform at lower FPS, so for some, 30 FPS is recommended. This is one of the most recent techniques found in the game, and I'm honestly surprised it wasn't found sooner. In certain specific locations, if your FPS is low enough, anywhere between 30 and upwards of 80 FPS, we can actually trigger wall boosts in places where you wouldn't be able to otherwise. This allows you to boost over small railings and walls in some cases, and can also be performed on consoles. Once you have triggered a boost, you can also uncap the FPS from 30 and boost slightly higher. Clipping your co-op partner through a wall or door with an object is super simple, but is only possible in certain locations where you can actually pick up specific objects using kinesis. This is because in co-op, they made it so you can't pick up most objects. To perform a clip, simply throw the object at your partner's feet and that's it. It may take a few tries, but eventually they will clip through. This trick can be performed at high or low FPS, so it also works on consoles. Here's a pretty simple yet funny glitch to perform. If you start from out of zero gravity and continuously punch into zero gravity, we can keep punching and float in the air. This glitch isn't useful, but it's pretty funny to look at. A lot of doors in the game are actually active from out of bounds, even if you can't see them. We can execute what we call a door dive, which allows us to either fall or launch ourselves into the void and open a door from out of bounds. This loads in the area and the collision surrounding it. If we find somewhere with a tight gap, we can use a technique called crouch spam clipping to clip through. This works on any of the gates for elevators. Simply position yourself in the middle, then hold forward and sprint and spam crouch. This glitch is only possible with crouch bound to the scroll wheel and high FPS. For the rest of the video, I'd like to show some of the speedrun skips that utilize these tricks and glitches that I have explained so far, some of which can save up to 15 minutes on a speedrun. Train skip lets us launch into a checkpoint out of bounds and skips a really long introductory cutscene with Danik, as well as skipping a little bit of gameplay. This saves around 3 minutes, but is only possible on NG+ due to needing the timed mine.
Danik blames them for experimenting with the marker, thinks it's heresy. So you can imagine what they think of you. Have you reached the extraction site yet? Government, we want to trust with us.
Nexus skip allows us to bypass virtually all of chapters 11 and 12 by hitting a checkpoint behind a locked door just before the Nexus boss fight, saving around 15 minutes. Cliff's skip is by far the hardest skip in the entire game, and has never been performed in a speedrun as of yet. We use a kinesis launch to hit the checkpoint at the top of Cliff's from inside the Nexus's stomach. This saves around 7 minutes. Descent skip is one of the more unique and interesting skips in the game, allowing us to fall virtually all the way down to the bottom and skip the descent in its entirety.
Nice, you alright?
Conrady's here. He's headed to the machine.
Can you reach him?
I'm trying.
Lab skip is by far one of my favorites because it skips some of the most annoying sections in the entire game, and it's also one of the biggest skips to boot, saving around 15 minutes over a glitchless speedrun. These next few skips are brand new, and this is the first time they are being shown to the world. This skip allows you to skip the cutscene at the top of the command tower where you're first introduced to Ellie and the gang, saving around 2 minutes in solo and 3 minutes in co-op. Eudora Skip allows us to completely skip the bridge cutscene and the slowdown section after, going straight to the cutscene where we put on the EVA suit. This is only possible on co-op as of right now due to needing another player to stand on the trigger for the cutscene when it spawns.
Stopping this marker epidemic, but we've been unable to make contact. Our number one priority is finding and securing Agent Langford and her team.
The room's sealed! What now?
I'm gonna try.
This skip is pretty cool and allows us to skip the initial cutscene once you start Chapter 10 on co-op. Sadly, it only saves around 30 seconds as of right now due to the lengthy setup time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed any of the things I showed off in this video, then go and check out my world record speedruns on this game, links in the description. I also stream on Twitch sometimes, so go follow me on there. Subscribe and turn on notifications to get alerted when I upload new videos in my Glitches series. Bye for now.